What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Sanders, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Nick Bolton and the potential of him returning. Well, he has now been on IR for 4 weeks, which means his practice window has officially opened. Now, does that mean he is going to come and play? Well, not exactly, but Coach Andy Reid did give us an update on the Chiefs linebacker and what he could be in store for the next coming weeks. So here's what we've gotten kind of the update to this point. Now, Nick was placed on IR in week 8 with a wrist injury after that Los Angeles Chargers game. Now, the star linebacker, as I mentioned, is now eligible to be designated to return from the IR with his practice window opening. And here's the big news. It seems as though that Coach Reid thinks he will return. Now, he said this yesterday in Reid's press conference, saying, I think we will be able to get some work from Nick. I mean, he's wanted to go here even before 4 weeks elapsed. So we'll just try to make sure he's right for that. Now, Nick Bolton this season has been injury prone. The wrist injury was just one of many. In fact, he's only played about 4 games this season. Now, you can't argue with what he's done in the past, and overall this season in 4 games played, well, I'm going to say it's pretty dang good. 28 tackles, a pass breakup, an interception, and the big thing right there, the PFF grade sitting at 72.7. You do the math right there. I always like to say with PFF, just add 10 to it, and that's your grade. So he's sitting at probably a low B for only his 4 games played. He's a guy who has really been a defensive presence on this Chiefs squad for the past couple years, and I would like to have him back. Now, at the same time, I do recognize the importance of Drue Tranquill and what he has meant into this team, because he's filled in very nicely. In fact, I've honestly been very surprised and energized by Tranquill's performance. He's actually leading the team in tackles. He's been a guy that has been on the field pretty much every snap and always around the ball. I mean, I'm telling you, every single Sunday, I'm calling Drue Tranquill's name. I'm seeing him on the field, and I'm telling you what, this guy looks like he could potentially be a starting linebacker on this squad. 71 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. I'm kind of starting to question, okay, when Nick Bolton comes back, what exactly is the choice here? Are we going to keep with Bolton because of his presence on the field in previous times? Or are we going to stick with Drue Tranquill because of the success we've seen with him? Now, I think that's the question that is probably sparked by a lot of Chiefs fans, and you're probably thinking the same thing I am of, well, if Tranquill is leading in tackles, why shouldn't he play? At the same time, we know what Nick Bolton is capable of. We know and have seen exactly how he can control the defense, how he can call the defense, and ultimately how he can force other teams to be absolutely confused with what the Chiefs are doing. So I have this question for you. We haven't got to see Nick Bolton a lot. We've seen a lot of Drue Tranquill. Who is the better linebacker in your opinion? Is it Nick Bolton? Then type NB. I know a lot of Chiefs fans, you've seen him a lot last year, and you've seen him 4 games this year. And then Drue Tranquill coming on from the Chargers on a free agent deal. He's played very well. Type DT if you think he is the better linebacker between these two, because it seems as though we may get both on the field within the next coming weeks. From talks, I'm thinking that Bolton and Tranquill will have a starting spot. Now, to what extent, how are they going to do that? That's what we don't know just yet, but I would expect both these guys to be on the field. NB for Nick Bolton, DT, who is the better linebacker? All right, coming up, you saw it in the title, we finally have an update on Justyn Ross and what is going on with him. How is he going to be able to return? Is he going to be able to return? Well, we actually got a really nice update yesterday in terms of his chances to come back this season and his chances to play on the Chiefs in the upcoming weeks. Now, before we do that, though, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, the reason we are here talking with you, and that is Factor. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, and they can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, this holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious and convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Now, with Factor, they can keep you fueled up with every type of meal, of chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos. Now, with Factor, you have to skip the stress of meal prepping. No chopping, no meal prepping, no have to worry about cooking, as you can choose from 35 plus weekly flavored packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door. I say again, delivered straight to your door. It's also ready to eat in 2 minutes. When you're too busy running around to plan for lunch, Factor has you covered with lunch to go, effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go. No microwave required. Head to factormeals.com/ChiefsChat50 and then use code ChiefsChat50 to get 50% off. That's code ChiefsChat50 at factormeals.com/ChiefsChat50 to get 50% off your Factor meals. Go check it out. It's the clear way to stay on your dietary needs during this holiday season. Okay, I mentioned Justyn Ross, and it's kind of been an interesting topic to talk about. Now, he got arrested a couple weeks ago. We'll kind of go through the whole thing, but we finally have a true update on the potential of him coming back. So here's what the story has led to thus far, if you've kind of missed out on it. So Ross was arrested on October 23rd following a domestic disturbance involving a woman. Now, he was currently, or actually is currently, on the commissioner's exempt list, which basically that means he is unable to practice with the team. He is unable to play with the team. For all intents and purposes, he is not on the Chiefs right now. He is just a part of the Chiefs organization. Now, he did play in 7 games this year before being placed on the commissioner's exempt list, and he had 3 receptions for 34 yards, and really, it was a lot of Chiefs fans want to see him more on the field, to see him getting targets, to see him as a potential threat on this Chiefs offense. Well, there's a chance that could happen after all this season. We got this update from KMBC saying the Johnson County District Attorney's Office has confirmed that Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Justyn Ross is no longer facing criminal charges after an application for diversion in his case was granted. Now, I stop myself here because this does not mean that he will come back. This is not saying that Justyn Ross is back on the roster right now. He's going to play this weekend. That's going to be probably a week or 2 in advance. Now, why does that? Well, just because the charges were dropped doesn't exactly mean that the NFL will immediately take him off the commissioner's exempt list. That's going to be a little bit of time, as the NFL will have to basically go in and conduct their own investigation. They're going to have to go in and examine all the parts of this, seeing what exactly they could do and how it's possible for Justyn Ross to hopefully come back onto the Chiefs. It's going to be a little bit of a long haul here, just because the NFL and investigations tend to be a little slower than normal. Now, at the same time, there is a chance for him to come back this season. I don't know how long it's going to be exactly. He is going to be eligible to come back on the roster, though, if he is off the commissioner's exempt list. Now, how long will that take? That's kind of the question we're basically looking at, because if he is, I would assume he'll jump right back on the roster. Why do I say that? I think there's just been too many problems with this wide receiver depth chart. Now, Rashee Rice is clearly the wide receiver 1. Kadarius Toney, we pop him to 2. Marquez Valdes-Scantling at 3. Sky Moore at 4. Richie James, Justin Watson, and you see Justyn Ross still there, who technically is on the roster. He just can't play, can't practice. So I would assume if you get him back, he's just going to take up that spot again. It's not like you're going to pop him out anywhere. There's not really a reason to. He's got the speed. They like him a lot. Patrick Mahomes really sang his praises all preseason. Obviously, now you have Rashee Rice, the rookie out of SMU, 107-yard game. Looks like he could be the new wide receiver 1. But Ross is a very big talent in this league and has the potential to be a deep threat, just like Rashee Rice. Those two could be a dynamic duo in the coming years. At least that's the hope. All right, we've talked a lot about wide receivers this year, and I know that some of y'all, it's like, when are we going to stop talking about wide receivers? Well, we've talked enough about that. I know it's negative, but I want to try and bring some positive wide receiver talk into the show. So I want you to do me a favor, and in the comment section of today's video, I want you to put in your favorite all-time Chiefs wide receiver. If you got somebody out of the nerve, if you got somebody that's playing with the Chiefs right now, if it's Rashee Rice that already has made an impression on you, then maybe go down there, type Rashee Rice. Maybe it's Travis Kelce. Maybe it's Tony Gonzalez, a couple tight ends who really were honestly wide receivers. Well, then go type in the comments. Let me know who your favorite Chiefs all-time wide receiver is in the comments. All right, before we end today's show, I got to show some love for the defense because I think we may have overlooked them yesterday. So we talked about how Rashee Rice went off and kind of a lot of positives, but it's hard because how good the defense has been, they almost just kind of get overlooked. So I want to give them some major props because they are third in points per game allowed at 16.5 behind Baltimore and San Francisco. They are the only team in the NFL, only team to have held teams under 25 points in 11 straight games. You're kidding me. They're actually the first team to do that since 2013. It's absolutely insane. They're also fourth in yards per game allowed at 290. This defense has been absolutely stellar, and we talk a lot about L'Jarius Sneed. We talk a lot about Trent McDuffie. We've talked a lot about Brian Cook, Justyn Reid, all those secondary members that have been great because the rushing defense hasn't exactly been stellar, but it's been formidable. But I do want to talk about this defensive line because there's a name that has been playing better than Chris Jones, and it's second-year George Karlaftis. 8 sacks on the season. Now, he does have one more game than Chris Jones. Yes, we do have to note that. But when you look at these two guys, 8 and 7.5, I mean, these guys are combining for over 13 sacks of the team total 37. They are doing absolutely impressive work. And then you got Mike Dana, Derek Nottie, all in the trenches, winning battles and taking down the quarterback every single game. It's really nice to see not only the secondary doing their work, but also this defensive line. And I hope they can continue to sack because, honestly, with Jordan Love coming up this Sunday, I'm not going to fret. Dude's been playing well the past couple weeks. You put pressure on him. He's a young quarterback still. You put pressure, that's going to take a lot of stride out of that throw. All right, we appreciate you watching. If you love the Kansas City defense, like the video. Like that video. I got to ask you because I love them, and I want to know you do too. Hit that like button if you love the Chiefs defense. As always, Chiefs Kingdom, we appreciate you if you made it all the way to the end of the video, and peace out.